welcome to the next episode of the Buckcast with special guests the same as last week, Ryan and
Surge.
Darn it. How did I forget that already? Resuming, I think one thing about what you were saying, where the different card games teach you different things, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Formats also have that as well, because of how Yu-Gi-Oh! Is structured, to where, to be honest, the default rules of the game are a million times less important than which effects on cards are currently being printed. If we look at something like GOAT format, or not modern GOAT format, but classic GOAT format, card counting, literal card counting, because you know every single card in your opponent's deck, is actually really important. It was literally, okay, I'm looking at my opponent's graveyard, I'm looking at the cards that they have on the field, I can predict what's probably in their hand and what's in their deck, because it was so solved at the time. That was a whole different way of playing the game, you know? And because games went so long, you know, you'd be able to go through, you'd have enough time to know, okay, they've gone through all of their Magician of Faiths. They've gone through all of their Pot of Greed. They've gone through all of these power cards. I know what power cards they have left in the deck. I know how they're going to be able to get access to them, so you can think ahead like that. I say as a person who has only played a bit of GOAT format, but it's definitely a very, very different way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And then also, right now we're in a bit of a Tier 0 format where interaction's about as high as it's ever been. It has never been as much our turn as it is right now. But there are formats that have not been quite like this. Like even if you just go to right before Effect Veiler came out, the only way to interact with your opponent was draw cards. And a lot of those decks didn't play them. So then you have more of a, I don't want to say resource management, but it's a lot more game plan oriented, if that makes sense.
More like if your strategy can overcome your opponents.
Yeah. If you're just doing the thing your deck does, and you're setting yourself up to make sure that you can keep doing that as long as possible, which will hopefully make you win. That's one reason I think that Time Wizard format definitely needs to be much better implemented into Yu-Gi-Oh! Which, if you don't know, Time Wizard format is the official mechanism by which people can play previous formats of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, such as GOAT format or
Edison.
Edison's a really popular one. I don't really know what Edison teaches you.
So Edison was at the height of 5D's era.
Yeah.
So you're playing a couple decks. Obviously, Black Wings is a part of that, which at the time, Black Wings was just one of the most combo-centric decks because of just how, each card flowed into each other.
Yeah.
But then you have other decks like Lightsworn, which is a mill strategy. And because a lot of Lightsworn effects are powerful, it can become pretty oppressive. Mm-hmm. So it really just teaches you how to play your deck to the best potential you can. Because Edison was right before Teledad. Which,
oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, which nobody wants to go back to because of how horrible Teledad was.
I don't know. There are some crazy folks.
The only people who want to play Teledad were the people who had Teledad back then.
I love my two dads. I play in my Phantom Knights deck.
And they had 3 dads.
Oh, that's a lot of dads.
That is a lot of dads.
Yeah.
I don't know if I support 3 dads. That's too much.
It's too many dad jokes.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't really play around that time because where I live, there was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Dry spell.
Mm.
So I was really a Vanguard guy during that time.
You were not even a Vanguard player back then. That was like 2008, 2009.
Oh, I'm thinking 2012.
No, 2012 was actually Shadal era during like Arc V. Was it Arc V? It was like end of Zexal, beginning of Arc V. When 2012 was happening.
I only really started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When I came here.
When you came here, that would have been during the height of
Goki.
Goki format.
Oh.
I had a Goki deck beforehand. Like, I bought it when it came out because I liked wrestlers. And then when I came here, I just learned that Goki was meta.
Mm. Oh, I remember that. I remember you. Well, I remember you playing it long after it was good. Because I'm pretty sure I'm younger than both of you.
Yes, you are. But when the original group was here...
22.
I'm 22, too.
What?
We're the same age.
When did you start?
did this happen?
When did you start hanging out? When did you start going to UTA?
My parents decided to have a child in 1999, and I was born in the year 2000.
I was born in 2000.
I was born in March.
Okay. What year did you start going to UTA?
I am a little younger than you. Well, you're probably a school year older than me then.
Yeah. I came here in 2018.
What about you?
2019.
2019.
So you're a year ahead of me.
You probably didn't. You probably didn't start hanging out with us then because like
No, I was your freshman year.
Yeah, but like you were. So you were.
No, I remember him. He played Salamangreats.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah, you just didn't hang out with us as often as some of the other people in the group did.
Yeah, he played Salamangreats. I remember you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
I remember.
I remember you too.
Yeah, we had some fun.
Well,
though.
yeah, I played Goki past it because I liked the deck.
Yeah, I remember. I came in after Goki format was over.
I believe that would have been when Thunder Dragon was that was Thunder Dragon era.
Yep, Thunder Dragons.
Well, it was the 3 format.
Yeah, Thunder Dragon along with what were the other two decks?
Salad and Sky Striker.
Yeah,
It was during that. Toss. Well, technically it was before Toss, but because it was before Orcust became very good.
Also before people were just preparing for the Soul Burner structure deck.
Yes. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure the Soul Burner structure deck had come out like that summer.
No, it came out that fall.
That fall 2018. Fall.
2019.
2019?
It was
Fall?
2019 fall.
Okay, so I must have got it then.
I think we opened yours together.
Did we?
Yeah, because you said you wanted Ash Blossom. We only started playing Salamangreats.
Interesting. I don't remember. Anyway, but that was my first format I felt very competitive in because I was playing a meta deck. Because I was playing Salad.
I played Gokis and I always did good. I don't care what anyone says.
Until Spiral, and then Spiral came out, and Spiral Full Power.
But that's when we started going Vanguard.
Spiral was a format.
Yeah, Spiral was a format, but like that's the point where we got most people in the group to play Vanguard.
I was not one of those people.
No, but we still hung out with you and played. We still played Yu-Gi-Oh! Too.
We still hang out.
Yeah, like even though we liked playing another card game more, we never excluded anyone from hanging out.
And we also played
Why wouldn't
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Technically, it's just a card game club.
Yeah, that's what we
It's
always
not
wanted to be. Never.
strictly any specific one. Although the Magic people don't like us.
No, they don't. But that's because
Why do they not like us?
they just play Magic and that's it. Like they're very into their game.
It's funny because we've got Yu-Gi-Oh players who play Magic, and
I would love to play Magic. I just don't know how to get in. Because I know there's Commander.
Commander is probably the best format of Magic to get into, just because Standard is rotating, so you'd have to constantly buy new cards. While Commander is an eternal format, and you only have to play one copy of every card. You can't play more than one.
What is it? How many formats are actually played for Magic?
In
So
the
Standard, Commander,
there's so in the regular form, like in the IRL game, because there's other formats in online, but that can only be done online just because of their nature.
Okay.
There's Pauper, which is
the commons.
the common. So yeah, you play your cheap decks. There is what is that? It's a draft format where you basically
a draft.
Yeah, there is a draft format.
I heard a giraffe. I was very confused.
No, not draft. So you can just buy out a bunch of packs. Pioneer is the name. You just buy a bunch of packs and just open it up and build a deck with those. Obviously, you use lands, and you just play that with there. And then there are a couple of there's like Legacy, which is you play older formats and it's eternal formats, but you play up to a certain set, and after that, anything below that set is what you play. There's Historic, which is more of the same, but it's like even older. It's like original Magic sets from back in the 90s when the game first came out.
I kind of feel like they've got too many formats.
You would say that, and of course some of them aren't as popular as the others.
It's mostly just like Commander.
It's mostly
what
Commander.
I always hear people talk about.
Commander and Standard, really, but
How many people actually play Standard?
only the tryhards.
Exactly.
But the thing with Magic
like
is
with,
that the game has so much history and such much of a pull, like even in Japan, that it is gonna last because of how much history and how many people play it.
Yeah, everyone. It seemed like I didn't, but it felt like everyone had played Magic at some point.
Yeah, even in Japan, like in the 90s, before card games were really a thing for them, Magic was there first.
Interesting.
And they play right now I've been reading a manga about like these Japanese like middle school students playing Magic, and it's set in the 90s. It's actually really interesting because it looks at some of the history, like some of the greatest decks of Magic which were from that era, like Turbo Genius, which if you don't know what Turbo Genius is, it's imagine a deck that once you set up the combo, gives you infinite resources. I'm not even joking. Like, you have as much resources as you need just because of how powerful some of those cards were in that deck.
Interesting. Yeah. Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, what we have is Standard and Master Duel, which again for Magic the Gathering, we kind of just don't even you break it up between IRL and online. Whereas in Yu-Gi-Oh, we kind of have to loop them in together, or we end at one format.
Pretty much, because I know there's an advanced format of Yu-Gi-Oh, but no one plays that.
Well, that's Standard.
So what am I thinking of? Traditional.
Traditional.
No one plays traditional.
Literally no one plays traditional. People play traditional as a joke because the format's so broken. They really, really should just scrub it. Because there's nobody plays traditional.
Nobody. I've never heard anyone want to play traditional, seriously.
They invented it, I'm fairly certain, as a way to say, we banned your cards, but you can still play with them, just play traditional. Back when it was controversial that they made a ban list to begin with. But nobody plays traditional, and it's an accepted thing that they ban cards. And that realistically means you're not going to get to play with it again. It makes so much more sense to just throw out traditional and try to create an actual reasonable Time Wizard format. Which Time Wizard format exists. A little while, I don't remember how long ago it was, when Yu-Gi-Oh! Released the sheet of alternative formats.
Leaked. They never officially released it. That was a leaked email. And there was suggestions for formats like Heart of the Underdog, where you play with a customized rogue list where top tier decks, out of the question.
Yeah, Heart of the Underdog is just ban everything.
Yeah. But then there was a couple of formats like Common's Charity, which I honestly wanted to get started over here, where we only play common rarity cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is just pauper equivalent.
But the one that they never fleshed out, which I just wanted to flesh out,
genuinely one of the best decks in the format.
It would have, it definitely is. But one I wanted them flesh out is Deckmaster.
Oh wait, was that on the list?
I feel like
it was on the list, but they didn't explain it at all. It only explained that you have a card that would serve as a Deckmaster. But obviously, making any card your Deckmaster is a horrible idea because of how broken some of them can be.
Yeah, you just pick some wild.
They should just release special cards, how in Speed Duel they have
the skill cards. Yeah,
skills.
You release sets of cards that are specifically Deckmaster cards that will work as that. And I actually have it in the works where I'm trying to make that into a fun thing we could do. Trying to make custom made Deckmasters.
We do all commons except one card. And that'll be your ace.
No, I would not do that just because Vanity's Emperor, Vanity's Fiend, Majesty's Fiend.
Just a single card?
But they're also too broken to have out because of their effects.
Because part of what makes Pauper work is that they think about it. When they're designing products and stuff, they actively consider how it's going to affect Pauper format. And Pauper format has a custom ban list, right? We don't have that, so our common charity format is busted. It's crazy powerful Goki. That's clearly the best deck. And then, or it was, I don't know how much.
Well, Suplex is a super, so.
I don't know how much it's changed, but because Power Load Ogre is a common, and it's just unoutable.
Giant Ogre is a common.
Whichever one is the one that's just unaffected or whatever.
Oh, yeah, that's Giant Ogre.
Yeah.
I mean, what I would recommend for.
No, all the Goki extra deck monsters are mostly commons except Thunder Ogre.
Yeah. What I would suggest for a Deckmaster format is to make it like Commander, where it's a one of. Every card in your deck is a one of.
That's kind of against the spirit of Yu-Gi-Oh, though.
I mean, you could say that's also against the spirit, but if we make Deckmasters a more of a free for all format rather than just a one-on-one.
A free for all?
Yeah, because the thing about Commander is it's not always one-on-one.
Yeah.
It can be one. It can be 4v. It can be 4 versus everyone fighting each other.
Yeah.
And with a one card per, you really have to think about how you want to use that one copy and how you want to use it against your opponent or opponents.
I don't know. In my opinion, I have, in my mind of mine, I believe that the optimal number, I think you should have the minimum number of highly supported formats as possible, so that when people get in, it's not it's, oh, what should I play? Bam, here are the however many formats. obviously there are going to be a bunch of other ones that you could get into. Yu-Gi-Oh! Does have a bunch of little weird formats that people don't know about, like Trinity. Obviously, there are a bajillion different versions of draft formats that people play. There's a bunch of little weird ones. Junior Journey technically counts as an alternative format because there are people who play that. Okay, and for those who don't know, that's MBT's series, Junior Journey, that utilizes the junior rule set, which was the thing forever ago. But in my opinion, the three formats that we should try to support in Yu-Gi-Oh! That makes the most sense to me, I'd be willing to be argued out of this, is first of all, Master Duel. And I would specifically want Master Duel to be changed within this context to be the kid-friendly version, if that makes sense. The gateway drug of sorts, where we absolutely nuke anything that seems degenerate, and it's like the most soft version, if that makes sense.
I guess at that point we're hitting Maxi in that format.
100%.
Oh,
Maxi is ridiculous. It needs to be gone. Anyway,
the only reason why it's still in OCG is because it's too controversial.
They're smoking crack over there or something. There's something crazy going on. Anyway.
Somebody's getting a sloppy toppy for keeping Maxine.
That's a take if I've ever heard one. The second one is obviously standard. And I believe the third one should be Time Wizard. But I believe that they should have a structured universal Time Wizard where everyone together is in the same legacy format.
So like for side events, basically.
Yeah. So anytime you go to a tournament, like a regional or a YCS, they have a Time Wizard format, and it's the same one for however long time period, like 3 months. It's the same format, no matter what tournament you go to. That way, because this is important, Yu-Gi-Oh! Really, really, really revolves around content creators. Whether or not they're willing to admit that, content creators and local communities and how those two work together is what's keeping this game alive. You know? And so by having it, the Time Wizard format be the same for everyone at any given time means that people will get in it together. Right? Because the problem now is if you go to some event, it'll be like whatever the popular Time Wizard format is at that local tournament will be the one. Like that local card shop, which maybe that'll be Edison, maybe it'll be Go. You don't even know until the event starts. And now you have to learn this new format that you haven't been playing. But if everyone's playing the same thing, then you just have it with you. And then we get to explore all of Yu-Gi-Oh's cool legacy formats.
I definitely do agree that supporting 3 formats at a given time would help keep the game longevity-wise. It's just the fact that for most Yu-Gi-Oh players, they devote so much time and so much commitment to competitively playing in the standard format that side events for casual players isn't really supported as much, just because like the content creators don't do it as much because everyone's focused on the meta.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Konami themselves, they want to give it a try, but like they don't make product geared towards it. They don't even the only thing they do is speed duels, and even then, like some people do enjoy it, and it's definitely a good way for some people to want to play the game. Mm-hmm. But most people that buy those cards are really just people who want to get like nice, like super or secret rare copies of some of their favorite legacy cards, since we are allowed to use speed duel cards in the main game.
Yeah. I just bought volcanic cards because they were secret rares.
Yeah.
Compared to my normals.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Because old Yu-Gi-Oh! Rarity is dog shit compared to some of the newer ones.
Except for Ultimate Rare.
It's the same.
That's debatable.
I'd say old Ultimate Rare is still pretty good. It hasn't really changed much from the old days.
Not really. But I don't know. Sometimes I look at ultis, people will be like, man, I really balled out on this one. They'll show me the card. I'm like, do you have an ultra rare? They're like, no, it's the ultimate. I'm like, oh, I couldn't tell.
Yeah, like it has changed, but like it was around like GX where it got to be where it is now.
I don't think a lot of the rarities actually look very distinct from each other.
No, they're all pretty similar. Like the difference between Super and Ultra is really just the lettering on the card name. Mm-hmm. And then Secret is shinier. Prismatic, it's even shinier.
Ultra and Secret are like distinct, right?
Like I'll go back
you've got the
to last
sparklies on it, whereas the Ultra is more of the metallic looking to it.
Yeah.
But then it's like Secret and then Prismatic Secret. It's like, whoa, the Shrikies go 2 directions. And the prismatic secret.
Yeah, but
Whoa, so different.
The thing with Ultimates, though, is that there is a distinct amount because of the fact that the way the card art is, it's actually textured. So that's how you can always tell it's an Ultimate nowadays.
Yeah, but you have to see it in person up close to be able to tell.
No, you can even tell from the picture because the texture actually shows up in the picture.
Like I said last episode, full arts.
Yeah, they
probably solve the issue.
Yeah, like definitely making alternate artworks and
arts. Yeah, definitely. I definitely think that. I think part of it's just the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't really want to change very much. It seems like that's very much the case.
And I feel like that's eventually going to be its death if it doesn't change, because like no one's eventually they're going to hit an apex of like how far they can take the game before it just gets stale and won't change no matter what.
No, I think there's a really good opportunity here with specifically Master Duel, because I think although it's obviously the same Konami management, it seems like it's very distinct.
I will never forgive Konami. They killed Air Neos in Master Duel.
Oh yeah, like they can't use Air Neos to it's not in the game.
Oh,
he's not in the game.
Legal stuff.
Neos deck is.
No one knows for sure. People think it's a legal reason, but like Eric Neos has never been reprinted nor mentioned.
He's gone from all the future art.
Screw all of you hero players.
Air Neos is good. I'm coping. I'm seeing.
Yeah, but now like anyone has a copy of Air Neos is just sitting on like a lot of money.
Well, it's only $20.
Air Neos. Air Neos.
Oh, the Ultimate's a lot of money. Yeah.
No, I thought the regular like rare copy.
No, the regular copy goes for like $20.
I could have sworn
it's not the best Neos fusion.
Buy him up.
Hold on. I gotta look this up.
Oh, okay. So he's just wanting.
I thought you said hold on, because you were about to buy him.
No.
Yeah, buy it out. It's illegal.
Oh no, he's 130 now.
I see.
That is pretty.
He was like 20 for a while.
That was years ago, man. Like if you look at the history, it's been that high for a while.
Because Neos is good again.
No, it's not. It's literally just people gouging.
No, Air Neos has been
actually playing.
It's been like that for a year. Holy shit!
Yeah, I was like, are you sure, Ryan? You're looking at the right card. Air Neos has been expensive for quite a while. Even when Diego bought it like 2 years ago, he got it for like $60.
Yeah, it's not. Wait, are both of y'all rocking the flips? No, you just got a big old phone.
I just got a fat phone, bro. Stop looking at my fat phone.
Nah, it's just me right here.
No, but I want to talk about
flip.
card game supplies like sleeves and that. Because deck boxes are so great. I love the way you can personalize your deck boxes, your play mats, your sleeves. Because there's this company called Manamoon. Shameless plug-in. Not sponsored, by the way. But if you want to sponsor,
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
I'm desperate. Anybody wants to throw me a bone.
Like, all their product is really good.
Okay.
Like, I can just show you, but like, if you go on their website, they draw their own art, so it's not like stuff that's stolen. They do oversleeves that I think everyone I go to like a locals has at least. There's at least 2 players who have a Manamoon oversleeve. Their deck boxes are super well made, even though it's like I think only 3 people doing it. I'm not 100 on that, but like even their playmats are good. They do Digimon stuff too. That's how I got to know them.
Yeah.
But their Yu-Gi-Oh stuff is super good. They just did a Golden Ward deck box. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy it in time. But
so they do drops?
They do drops, and there's a limited supply because... But it's so good. I would have bought it because it was a Bleach and Golden Ward crossover. Yeah, and it was like a...
That can't be official.
No, it's not. They're not official.
But it was cool?
It was cool.
Okay.
It was good art. They made custom art for it. And they had a little gold faceplate on it. It was one of those vinyl...
so it's like the Bleach dude, but with a Eldritch mask? That does sound cool.
It's like those canvas ones that like you just snap, close, and open and close. It was pretty affordable too. It was like only $20 to $30. Plus, you have to pay for shipping. But
I mean, that's fair considering how it's a personal artist selling them, not like a big company. Not a big company.
That's why I really appreciate that. Compared to like early teens and middle 2000s, you didn't really have that stuff. You would just get like whatever brand there was.
Ultra Pro.
Even Dragon Shield is like fairly new in the scheme of things.
Oh yeah, like Dragon Shield definitely I think has taken the market as being like the premier standard card supply. Like if you want a good sleeves that will last you some time.
I use samurai, but that's just because I like samurai edges.
I thought you meant katana. Wait, do you mean katana?
Yeah, katana.
I use Dragon Shield.
I'm not a fan of katana just because I think the cards get too greasy. The sleeves get too greasy.
I'm gonna be honest. I use Dragon Shield because they have yellow.
They do have yellow.
They have
is
a
the
good
only
yellow.
I everywhere else I looked and I see what colors they got. It's like black, white, blue, green.
I
Purple.
do like the war they put on the back of their sleeves. Like it's a different dragon.
Oh yeah,
Well, I
got their crimson one.
I'm a little too lame. I don't get the art
their
ones.
crimson is nice.
Yeah, I got their crimson one. And it's my favorite thing. They also sell in like a huge bulk if you want, instead of having to like buy like. Ultra Pro sells them in like 40s, and sometimes you need more than 40.
Yeah.
So you would be paying the same amount as if you were buying a 100 count.
Dragon Shields are coming packs of 60, isn't it?
100.
100.
No, they only come in hundreds for their standard size.
Japanese, it's 60, but
Yeah.
you don't need more than 60 for some Japanese card games.
Well, I buy like all of my. I'm me as a Yu-Gi-Oh player leak here. All of my sleeves are the same color. It is all Dragon Shield yellow. Every deck I play, all of it, it's all Dragon Shield yellow. The extra deck I use Dragon Shield gray.
That's racist. You're saying that because yellow bad.
Yellow is my favorite color.
I mean, I like red, but boil is. I just hate how there's not really a good boil.
Boil?
Boil.
Good blue.
Oh, blue.
BLUE. Sorry.
Yes.
No, I get you. I had to do it different just because of the fact that since Vanguard's my main game, and I play 2 different formats, I have so many decks that I have to keep them different colors.
Yeah.
But for definitely like in the main format that I play, like there's a certain deck type that I like the most. So I make all my decks from that type the same color just so because I like to swap the staples between them.
I'm glad you can double sleeve now.
Oh yeah, like double sleeving in Yu-Gi-Oh was definitely something that needed to be done a long time ago, way before.
I know
it got
people
happened.
cheat in Yu-Gi-Oh like it's water sometimes, but you know
What?
Oh, like cheating can be a big issue in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Some people
what
drink-
are you talking
some-
about with the double sleeving?
Some people cheat with like double sleeving. That's why they didn't do it for some time.
How?
I don't know. They like mark the outer
Like
sleeve,
it's easier to mark cards when you double sleeve.
Interesting.
but no one really does it anymore because people know when to pay attention for that.
Yeah, plus like the fact that people can now start using like custom art, like some of the fancy Konami sleeves that they release for like cards.
Because
Well, Konami sleeves fall apart so
I
fast.
say this out loud. Konami sleeves are dog shit. They
I do
fall
not
apart.
necessarily support that opinion, but their durability is terrible. Yeah, if you don't double sleeve those suckers, they fall apart immediately.
That's like I use the Konami sleeves for my extra deck, and I always have to double sleeve them, even if my main deck isn't sleeved.
Yeah, they definitely are very pretty sleeves, and I like the fact that they're official, but it's weird.
I believe that is our sign.
No, it's not. I'm just gonna go investigate. Y'all keep talking.
Well, okay, so that Buck dude, I fucking hate him, bro. Like, he's so annoying.
I know.
Say it with your full chest, brother.
Say what was my full chest?
Yeah, the lights randomly went out. That's weird.
It's probably because they're
There's just no one out there.
automatic.
Yeah, it's on a timer probably. But yeah, no, I mean card product's nice. I know that Bushiroad releases so many of their with sleeves, and well, to be fair, they're not the most durable. They're
Well,
also
there's so much though. Like, since they have connections to so many things, you can get like card sleeves of like Fate or
Oh,
Sword
yeah.
Online.
yeah, like they had since they own White Schwartz, and White Schwartz is pick your favorite anime or video game, the card game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just
Do
collect.
they just buy the rights to the card games? Or?
They get the licensing rights to make those into their card game.
And then they make sleeves for it's for the card game, but you could just use
You
it
can use it for whatever.
because it's Japanese size, right?
No, they are the Weiss is standard, my friend.
Yeah, okay, they're standard. So there's a lot of standard card games.
Yeah, so
Well,
if you
now
ever,
that you can double sleeve, standard card sleeves that are art work now for Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Yeah.
Because you can just put them as
Oh,
your
yeah.
oversleeve.
yeah, so if any Yu-Gi-Oh players out there are really into Sword Art Online, they always release a Sword Art set whenever a new movie or new season comes out.
Oh,
so
definitely.
look out for that.
SAO's so popular.
Mhm.
I'm still waiting for Fate. There's only like 2 Fate collabs, and they never got sleeves.
Well, it's not here. Well, no, they did. Tim bought some.
Oh, I need to fucking murder Tim for them.
No, you don't. Tim's a fucking saint.
Fate, definitely good art in Fate.
Yeah,
I can definitely see the appeal.
Fate has good art, but like they also do so many animes. Like
There's also even like niche ones. Like I don't think any of you know Muv-Love.
Nope.
You mean Two Revolute?
No, Muv-Love is different.
We know Telovra.
Muv-Love is a mecha genre. It basically inspired Attack on Titan.
No.
Oh.
I mean, they have Attack on Titan, though. Not so much Attack on Titan.
But it's not mecha.
Doesn't need to be.
One thing I think is cool is just that there's a big community of custom stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm thinking about getting sleeves that are my logo.
And then you can make your own custom playmats now because there's just services that do that.
In gaming, no plug because I'm not sponsored, but I would like to be.
That we've got a certain individual in our group who spent, what was it, $50 for art of
Wheel?
Alistair the Invoker with Thunder Dragon Titan.
Oh, yeah.
And then he spent another $50 getting that on a playmat. And the art is questionable in quality in certain aspects.
But hey, he likes it.
He does like it. He definitely got his bang for his buck. He is very happy about how he spent that $100, and he uses that mat constantly. But I look at it and I'm like, that man's teeth look weird. That Titan's teeth look bizarre.
Now, I've done something similar before. Where
Well, but commissions are expensive, so I get that.
if you want to take a look at my Discord
Rightly
profile, that image of me holding a Vanguard card, I actually got commissioned by my friend. She's an artist from Portugal, and she does some really good stuff, and I only had to pay her 20 euros.
Yeah, friends are...
Sometimes you get much better prices when you're friends.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I recently convinced a friend who makes the custom tokens, and he does it really good. I was like, how much you charge? And he didn't think about it too much, so he said $5. That fool, that buffoon.
Like, for like one token or for like a set of tokens?
It's a token.
That's not bad.
It's a custom token that's got the like ultra rare background.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
nice.
And then he puts it on top, and he does it with the see-through paper. Like a see-through paper is what he uses to put the art on top. So even the art becomes reflective. And then he goes in there with a marker and colors in the sections that he doesn't want to be see-through. So it's like, looks legit. You know, it's not perfect, obviously.
Proxies have gone so far.
Oh yeah, like
Proxies
like-
have gotten insane.
Like, if you don't know where to look specifically, like, I'm not advising you do this, but there's some cards that are like $100, but their proxies are like not even a third of that, like way less.
Mhm.
Like $10 for a $100 card.
Yeah.
You buy it, you use it, no one's gonna look that hard
Well, also it's just...
because I feel like card games should be accessible.
Well, if you do not want to go to regionals or YCS, it's just talk to your friends. They're chill.
I mean, I played Sword Soul with full art that I got from this guy, and it's like,
yeah, no, just I mean, obviously,
Full art cards are so cool. People who take the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, then I look at a lot of Sky Striker full arts I've seen. Whereas having a full like blinged out full art extra deck for Sky Striker, whereas they full art it, would be so rad because they do such a good job.
dude, Chi Zhao, when you get to see all of him and not just in a small box, is actually really cool looking. Even Wang Yun, the synchro Wang Yun.
Yeah. There's definitely for any full arts for extra deck cards. There's so much potential.
And I didn't even know Mo Yi had like eyes. I just thought it was like, that.
oh yeah,
filling.
like you'd lose so much detail in the card art when you
But
shrink
when
it
I got her
down.
full art, I saw that she had like pupils, and I thought her eyes were just like one flat color.
It's funny, especially stuff of higher rarity, how completely like indecipherable the artwork is. And then you look at it online, and I don't know where they got the source images from, but they have like the full HD bajillion pixel images. And you look at it and you're like, oh, that's what's happening.
And then you can get like stuff that you would never get from Konami. I could buy an Eldritch deck and all my spell and trap cards in prismatic Starlight.
Interesting.
Like, that's only if I own the deck legitimately.
Yeah.
But
If you just wanted to make it fancier.
yeah, but the prismatic Starlight looks like it's a Starlight rare.
Mm.
And the image quality is way better than if I said Konami made it. Because Konami, when they go up rarities with certain cards, they look worse.
I will say this: one benefit from, being an outsider looking into Yu-Gi-Oh's practice from seeing other games, especially from like Bushiroad, is just how when they release artwork, they, especially for like boss monsters, they key cards, they definitely like release the full artwork in its full image. Nowadays, like, it's a lot easier to get high quality images of that and just see where the artwork is coming from, because as much as they, love their game and support their game, they don't make the game just a game. It's like a whole thing you can get into from like the lore.
It's a culture.
Yeah, it's a culture. You want to get invested into the lore because the card art speaks to you. You want to, look at more, like, see what the story is. And part of that is just why, like, I know, like, all the Vanguard players that I know have attachment to cards just because of how cool they are. Mm-hmm. Like, I know that if someone gave me, like, 10 minutes to explain some Vanguard lore to them, not the game, I could easily get them endeared to, like, one card. And, like, it would
Armor Break Dragon, baby!
Yeah, like, I mean, we could try you right here, Buck. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's give it a go.
Uh-huh.
All right. What's your favorite type of, story genre? Like, fantasy, sci-fi, go around there.
I do quite like fantasy. I liked Mushoku Tensei. So if you want to find me a Roxy equivalent, that'd be good.
Wouldn't that be Water?
Oh, okay.
Enchanter?
Yeah, Water Enchanter.
All right.
Yes,
or are you talking about Vanguard?
That Yu-Gi-Oh card that exists, that is that? Yes, I'm aware.
So for Roxy, let's see. I think a lot of the cards from, like, Oracle Think Tank or Genesis would count.
Yeah, Genesis definitely.
So the thing with Genesis is that they are a group, in the lore of the game, that clan is a company that is a rival to another company in their same nation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they do, like, fortune telling predictions. They make a business out of being able to predict, geological events, how things will go.
Yeah.
But they tend to go into it a different way, whereas Oracle Think Tank is more into the future, they focus more on mythology and lore and what can go into that. Because of that, a lot of their units are seeped in, like, different deities, like, Jormungandr, Fenrir, Minerva, stuff like that. And because of that, like, a lot of their cards are, like, like maidens and sorcerers and, like,
I'm going to need some images on
this. Oh, images. We can get you images. In fact, like, I don't, like, this is not very much Roxy, but we can definitely show you cards that similar. We'll just show you what, what's the, the big piece, and then we'll show you the side stuff, and you'll enjoy it.
You should send me these images in Discord so I can put them in the video afterwards.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, this is going to be a pretty fun one. So this is the artwork by Tony. He's a very big Japanese artist, by the way. Like, his artwork has always been very vibrant for its style, and, like, this is the original card that he designed for Bushiroad.
Okay. Looks very Artemis-y, I imagine. That's the intention?
Yep. Because her name is Minerva.
Okay.
Roman version of Artemis.
Okay.
Athena.
That's a card art.
Fucking fake.
Sorry, Athena, you're right.
Fake mythology fan?
Okay, I haven't played enough God of War, sorry.
You fake mythology fan.
Fake fan here.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Talking about Vanguard cards, and you're like, you're a fake mythology fan.
Because Minerva is the Roman version of Athena.
Okay.
She has pink hair, though. That ruins it.
That is a card art. Uh-huh. Yeah, these are card arts.
But if you don't like anime stuff, then you probably won't
like anime stuff.
There's some Yu-Gi-Oh players who just despise it for some reason.
Which is strange. Those people should play Magic the Gathering. Okay. This art isn't really speaking to me.
Nope. I'm going to have to take some time to figure it out for you. Nope.
Is Vanguard very uniform in its style, or?
So what do you mean uniform?
Because Yu-Gi-Oh is very non-uniform.
Oh, so
there are clans, and they play around a general.
Clans always have the same art style.
Not the same.
They have a general theme, like Keter Sanctuary is like your knights and your fantasy.
Yes.
Which is in.
Oh, so it isn't. So there are a lot of different art
yeah,
styles.
like you can play like you have your Royal Paladins, which is like this like royal guard that protect everything.
Shadow Paladins are your edgy knights.
Yeah,
Gold Paladins are your knights, but you like gold.
Yeah.
Or Oracle Think Tank is just pretty girls
Pretty girls and witches.
and
It's
witches.
kind of weird that the same theme isn't the same art style.
No,
No, because they get different artists
for every card.
For every card.
Now there is going to be like a uniform like design sense,
Because
but like the artwork will be different.
there are archetypes in Vanguard.
Uh-huh.
So like Seekers, they all theme around wandering knights or searching for something. So they all look like that, right?
Okay.
But let's say for Dragon Empire, they're all like some form of dragon.
But like they all take a different take because there's Kagero, which is like fire dragons,
There's
and like
fire dragons, thunder dragons,
dinosaurs.
stealth dragons.
Dinos-
They're just ninjas.
And
Stealth dragons are just ninjas.
or
Are they
they're,
still dragons?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
still dragons.
they're just like ninja dragons.
Okay.
And then there's dinosaurs, which are literally just dinosaurs but with like weapons on them.
They're the dinosaur army because they all have the naming scheme of like colonel or general.
Or yeah, like they're just a very militaristic dinosaurs.
Interesting.
And then there's like obviously in another version, not so much dragons, but like it's a bunch of like beasts and like magical creatures like yokai
Yeah.
that have like another stealth theme, but it's
So-
more.
I want anime girls who are attractive, good art style.
Pale Moon.
Or Bermuda.
That's Bermuda is mermaid idols, and they're all girls,
Okay, that's it. That's worth looking into.
and they're usually meta.
I like the tier artworks, by the way.
No, they're.
I wish they were a little older.
If that's the case, well,
I mean,
if we wanted to give them a standard,
No babies, please.
no, I was recommending maybe if you want to
Aqua.
Aqua Force has some good, but not a lot of
Nope.
females.
No, I
Didn't
mean
you
like
mention Aquaforce earlier. What did you mention Aquaforce earlier?
No, I mean Genesis and Oracle Think Tank.
No, earlier, like way earlier.
No, I read.
Aquaforce was mentioned. I thought.
no.
Oh, well, I'm going insane. Okay.
But no, like in our current format, we don't really have clans, but like nations.
This episode, different person.
It
different
kinda-
person mentioned Aquaforce.
It streamlined. Probably Matthew. It
Oh,
streamlines the whole.
So here's how it works. You have a Vanguard, which is your grade 3. That's basically going to be your main unit that you're going to swing with.
You're basically your boss card.
So usually you don't have to. That's your main card you focus on,
Mhm.
and you build around her or
Yeah.
them. So there's Silver Thorns. They're in Pale Moon. So their whole thing is they're at the circus.
Okay.
So they're all clowns and stuff, and she's a dragon tamer.
Because,
That
like
could be cool.
like a lion tamer.
Mhm.
But there's other stuff too. So to explain, like in the main format, which is our standard, the game got streamlined a bit, where there's like 24 different clans you could play in the game. It got reduced to like 6 nations. So where like they're more melded together and more generic.
Okay.
But and this is one of the 6 nations, which is just like lyrical, which the whole theme of the deck is they have their own, like each deck is its own unique playstyle. But like they're all like high school girls in an academy training to be pop idols.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
And
it's that clan's a more acquired taste.
it is a more required taste, but it has quite a few.
I mean, that's good art. I like that artwork a lot.
Yeah, they have a lot of great artwork. Honestly, like here's one that I think is one of their better ones.
I feel like the idol
I
girls
don't
they
like
do
the
for
character
this.
though.
You don't? I
No.
mean, there's
The
plenty.
idol
of
girls
stuff.
they do for this are way more tame than what they did before.
Oh yeah, like the Bermuda one kind of got out of hand at some point.
Yeah, they were all just girls in swimsuits.
Eh,
And you have weirdos on Twitter saying, "Oh, are Vanguard players pedophiles?"
Oh, are they kids?
No,
Some of
they're-
them.
Some of them, but like it's not revealing costumes.
Okay.
It's just a swimsuit,
Mhm.
and only you would find that attractive if you're weird.
Yeah.
But you know how people are on Twitter.
People are weird on Twitter.
It's also other Yu-Gi-Oh people when they just want to dunk in another card game.
I am one of those people. I look at people playing like Vanguard, and I'm like, what is this, baby? What is going on?
Now this.
Oh, that's all right.
She's bad roll. Stolen.
What?
Nothing. I'm
I
just
don't-
salty about something.
I don't know who
Like,
I was watching.
she's probably the most meta character right now.
No,
play.
play.
Okay.
no, she's not. Youth Perk.
Well, yeah, youth, but I mean like waifu.
Oh yeah, like in terms of
most
waifu,
meta
yeah, she's
waifu.
one of the most meta. But like, there's so many decks you can play in Vanguard, and the thing is, like, a lot of the times it just comes down to preference of what card are you like, and it pays off.
And Vanguard's pretty affordable. Beyond some like few outliers, you can basically build a deck with anything.
Heck, right now, you can pre-order a deck for like $60, and it is a full deck. It is basically everything you need to get started.
I just don't particularly like the writing phase, you know? And they write
It
each
is
other.
a slow game.
I don't think you understood what I said at all.
The writing mechanic.
Yeah, it slows down the
I
game.
still don't think you'll understand what I'm saying. The terminology is so dumb.
Oh, you're talking about that?
Yeah. Yes. I will now have this small girl ride this large knight.
No, you're basically transforming. That's it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're just advancing through the game. But I mean, I understand if you're not a fan
They're
of the
called
terminology.
writing.
Yeah, but now that they have ride lines where it's the same character and it progresses through their story.
Or
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So they make specific ride lines, and then you can put anything in, but they make specific cards for a ride line.
Mhm.
For like when they're a kid to like when they're.
Is there an advantage to doing it in the correct order?
Yeah.
Yes, because you get effects. They have sometimes effects that only go off when either they ride
When
or when they're on the Vanguard circle.
When you use them in conjunction with each other too.
Yeah, like they'll be like they just give you.
If you ride
an
over
early
this
game.
card, then you get an ability compared to if you used a different one. And it's a separate deck, so you don't have to like search it.
And typically, it just helps you advance the overall play style of the deck too.
And to clarify, I am just being a non-Vanguard fan who thinks it's funny to make fun of Vanguard.
Oh no, you're
To
good.
clarify.
No, it's fine. No, I just hate the people who are like, "Oh, your game's bad. My game's better. My game doesn't do X thing. That's why it's better than yours." Because like I think it was like Farfa or something, and all his like fanboys parroted his shit for like.
Forever.
I feel like Farfa make joke though.
No, he probably made a joke, but his fans don't understand what a joke is.
They are children. Have you all seen the MBT bit
Yeah.
where he shakes the keys?
Yeah, no, it's just I feel like people should have learned that he was probably joking.
Yeah, just
I will admit, Vanguard people took it way too seriously.
they did, but to be fair, there is a very loud part of our community that we don't really like to talk about in good light.
No, dude, I just want to make Youthberg like
They've all got
extremely gay.
degenerates.
Yeah,
What?
but
No, because his ability is he changes to different colors. And all
Okay.
of his colors have been the
kind of like Sky Striker in a way.
yeah. He's just Sky Striker.
Okay.
But like, and so when the deck first came out, people mostly just wrote it off as mid.
Yeah, they thought he was really bad, but then he got.
One good card support, which at first they all called bad.
But then if you can read,
Also, only the most casual like fanboy players called it bad. Any one of us who played the game for a long enough time knew that card was good on release. And
I was gonna play him even if he was bad.
and that card made the deck so good. Like it almost became a tier 0 format if in Japan they didn't have two other decks that could go toe to toe.
I think it's expensive right now because it's the only like top tier deck.
But we're about to get one of those decks. Another one we'll never get because of licensing reasons.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, Ebisu.
Obviously, yeah, but we don't have Monster Strike here in the US, so I doubt we'll ever get that collab set.
But with the waifu set coming out in like January, with set 8,
Well, it's not a waifu set.
it has Lukier and Minerva,
Okay, fine. It's a
and it
waifu
has
set.
glitter.
Okay, fine.
It
It's
has
a
all the glitter cards.
Alright, fine, but yeah, like that, like a lot of interesting decks are about to go into the pipeline, which
So
makes it
right
fun.
now it's a bit bad, but that's just because they're really slow with the releasing stuff.
Because like they typically like space out main sets between like a month or two between each other.
But I think because of supply line issues, they had to spread this one out really far.
I see.
So the game would be a lot healthier if they were able to like get stuff out
But is
concurrently.
anyone like here actually playing the meta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well,
They all bought it, and then I kept telling them I'm gonna play it, and then they were like, "No, I said I was gonna play it day one." I'm like, "You fuckers said it was bad."
I never said I was going to play day
I-
one.
I was talking about the other people who were like, as soon as it got good, they're like, "Oh, I've been a fan since day one." I'm like, "You guys were dog shitting on me for wanting to play it."
I didn't.
I have the receipts.
I
Don't try to play that bullshit with me.
I just wanted to get on top of that. I mean, the only reason I'm playing one of the decks that's one of the top tier decks that's coming out is because I genuinely like that deck, and it's one of my because it's a nostalgia deck. It's a retrain of an old deck that we used to play back in the day. They're re-releasing it for the new format. It's a fun
I'm playing
style.
Messiah.
I'm playing that too, but you know why. But I mean, obviously, like they're really giving a lot to the players this time around. Like we're having good decks being current. We're having some good retrains too. It's really giving a lot more variety.
I
to the
do like
game.
Vanguard's meta being stable. Its meta is pretty concurrent. Like if you know what to look for, you can tell what the meta is before this set gets announced.
Yeah, like just playtesting a bit will let you see how powerful decks are and how they compare, and lets you predict like how it's gonna go. Like I know for us, because in Vanguard we do have tournaments just like Yu-Gi-Oh. We have like our regional events and our seasonal.
We will never get one in Fort Worth.
Yeah, because of Dallas, but that's another story that I shouldn't get into because
that is a controversial.
It is a controversial. It's a controversial story that we should not go into because it might not be PG appropriate.
Then let's not. Let's skip that.
Let's skip that story and just.
I have a question.
Yes.
Do y'all have any? Okay, so in Yu-Gi-Oh, we have every now and again we get a strategy, usually not very competitive, where the mechanics of it really line up with the art/naming scheme, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the one I like to bring up every time is Suship, or whatever it's called now. I don't know if it's still called Suship, whatever. Where it's the main card it's like a giant shipyard where they're building ships, but the ship they're building is a giant rice thing like for sushi.
Yeah.
Right? And then they also have one that's roe, and they also have one that's like the ice fish, whatever. They're all ingredients of sushi, and they're all level 4, so when you put them on top of each other to make a rank 4, it is the dish, like the actual dish you would make with those ingredients, right? Except it's a battleship, because that's the gimmick. It's battleships that are also sushi, and in because it's based around a vanilla monster, in the flavor text it says it's a Yelp review for having eaten at that shipyard. It's literally a Yelp review that they've put as the flavor text. They also have a card that says, when your sous ship is destroyed by opponent's card effect, they pay life points equal to its defense points. Then you special summon a sous ship from the hand, and you overlay a new one on top. So if they eat the dish, you make they pay for it, and you make them a new one, right? So
I think I get what you're talking about. I know one thing, but I want to know if you can think of something else.
The deck that's
where
a bit
the
of a
mechanic
gimmick.
actually goes together with the theme.
Okay, so there's this card from G called Deus Ex Machina.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it's it's Exodia,
Okay.
where you win if you make certain conditions.
Yeah.
So there's an ability called Timely, where you bind certain cards from your deck.
Banish, basically.
You banish certain cards
Like
from your
Gold
deck.
Sark.
Yes, but
So you banish 13 cards, and the deck is based off the Zodiac.
Oh.
So if you banish 13 cards, you win. And basically you're supposed to banish the Zodiac animals because it's based off the cycle of rebirth. Because basically he's not destroying you, he's just resetting time.
Oh.
Because the circle, it will be complete when he gets all 13
I see.
banished away.
I like that.
there is something similar. So another one that you could consider that would be the Xerox Dragons, which at the end of the first of the first major era of Vanguard, which was back in like 2017 really, 2018, that era. So it was like, Vanguard was at kind of its height with its new mechanic, which gave it an extra deck. It's been about 3 years since that happened.
Uh-huh.
So they decided to release a big bad boss monster, which is like the biggest threat the game had ever seen. And its unique mechanic was that one, it could be played in any deck. It was universal. There was no restriction.
Dragons were associated with a nation.
Uh-huh.
Yes, and it also released like dragons, like these evil dragons that it commanded, which were tied to a specific country. Because in the lore of Vanguard, there's 24 clans, but each of them belong to a country. So like there's like 6 of them in one country and 3 of them in another, and each country had a dragon that represented it. Because of that, they went in tandem with Gizeh, which is being the evil dragon deity of destruction. And it also had a win condition. For it, you had a certain amount of those dragons used up, because in the game, when you use up your extra deck monster, because you can only use it for one turn, it returns face up. In this instance, if it had 6 or more face up, you win the game.
But you can also summon them out on the board. Because usually they're supposed to only go on the Vanguard, so you can only have one at a time.
You
conventionally.
You just make your boss monster.
With Gizeh, you can call them all out, and they can all fight for you.
Yes, so its mechanic was, it was a big oppressive, dragon demon that would just, destroy everything and create an onslaught of destruction. Of course, it was a bit slow. Especially nowadays, since no one plays a deck anymore, just because it's too slow.
Mhm.
But at the time, it just signified the fact that this was the biggest threat the game ever had, and it was something you need to prepare against, otherwise you would lose.
So there's another card called Omega Glendios. Basically, the storyline is he's a super mega weapon created to take over the planet for the Void. The Void basically, what's the best way?
Evil alien invasion.
You know,
force.
World Legacy, how the characters became corrupted? They would corrupt boss monsters of certain units.
Oh, okay.
So they would have an alt form. Basically, his thing is that you can call the alt forms out from the deck, and for every time you call one, you can set up the board so you can just win the game.
So his effect revolves around just, locking your opponent out of their zones, which is
just Book of Mooning them.
Well, to be more accurate, it's like an Ojama lock. It just
I
prevents
get
you
that.
from using it.
Mhm.
Which with him is his clan, because with the arrival of that set of era, they made a whole new clan for it. So new mechanic, new deck.
They're alien invaders, and their whole mechanic was lock, which is Ojama lock
Yeah.
for our Yu-Gi-Oh players.
Sounds a lot go down.
Yeah, and this was at like the peak of like the hype for the game, because for that era it was a Vanguard's version of like Battle City, like where it was like pure nostalgia for most people looking back there. A lot of top tier decks, a lot of great fights.
So certain boss monsters would get reversed, which will give them an alt form that involves them walking their allies. It would be like a new mechanic that they added, so they can get buffs. But they're also count as Link Jokers. So if you have Glendios on your Vanguard circle, which is your main guy,
Okay.
Basically,
you call them out, and then when you call them out, it's like as if you're corrupting the entire planet.
yeah. So essentially, like corrupting the boss units would become fuel for their Doomsday weapon, which is what this boss card was.
Mhm.
And if you had enough resources to basically Ojama lock your opponent's entire board, you get to win the game.
I'm having trouble putting this together exactly. I think it's just because I don't play Vanguard.
It is kind of difficult to explain it, especially
Because
considering
there's only 6 circles in the game.
So like imagine if there was a card in the game that says every time you play a certain archetype card, you get to choose your opponent's zone and lock it.
Yeah.
Kind of like a Satri Law.
Uh-huh.
And you set the combo and it locks your opponent's entire monster row.
Yeah.
And then there's a boss monster for that says if you're at the end of your turn, if your opponent's monster zones were all locked out, you win the game.
Okay.
Now obviously it's a hard thing to do
There's
and
only
it's not
like-
very feasible.
This isn't a common thing. There's only 3 times that you mentioned them.
Yeah, there's only three cards in the game that have ever been this way. And it's a win, but even
And they're
then,
usually
like,
reserved for the big bad.
yeah, but even then with this, it's been, it's hard to do, but if you pull it off, it's pretty funny.
That does sound very funny.
Yeah, and like this, like I said, this was like our,
Just so you know, none of these were good except maybe Gize.
except, yeah, because it actually had some strategies with it because it was a universal card. But like, no, the game had a history of like just creating cards to match like what's in the lore and what's in the anime.
Yeah.
Because like they put some pretty good highs in there.
Okay. I mean, none of those have really caught me as being. They all sound a little serious.
Oh, you mean like a joke thing?
Yeah. Well, like Suship is a joke.
Right? I mean, if you're trying to do a joke, it isn't that for the most part, all Vanguard decks are designed with a focus in mind. Like they don't really have a joke in set.
Nope, you forget. Indonesia got certain sets, which I'm so mad we didn't get, where it was all just mascot characters of Indonesian food brands.
Yeah.
And their whole thing is, if you eat enough of them, you get basically super powered up.
Yeah, but that's
this is
like
capitalism to the extreme.
yeah, but
That's funny.
that's like just Indonesia because they have their own.
But I think that's the
market.
best
That's
way
kind
to.
of sad.
But there is something we do get. We get collab sets in Vanguard.
Yeah.
So like to explain, like one of the latest ones we just got, which is actually has a deck that's really good, is Shaman King.
I didn't really like the collab stuff. Like some of the mobile games I used to play the cat one, Battle Cats.
Yeah.
And they do collabs, and it's like, the units are going to be overpowered because someone paid to get the units in here.
So the thing with collab sets is they're never always overpowered.
Record of Ragnarok was popular, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, like like they're just more for fun.
Okay.
And they've always been that
It's
way.
only for it's to get people interested because if you like Shaman King, you learn that they're getting a card game.
So is it the just the characters from the thing they're collabing with,
Yeah,
or is it like the things from Vanguard with characteristics?
No. Like it's the actual characters. Like if
Okay.
you look at they have their own cards.
Have they done one with Fate?
No, that's been reserved for just
Why
Weiss.
Schwartz?
If they ever do one, they'll
That thing is gonna make so much. I'm buying a case immediately.
You're buying 3 cases.
I'm building every deck. I am max raritying that.
I know
bow.
there are a lot of weird fake card games for Fate.
Not really.
Not really. Like the only thing they really
Also-
have is Fate Grand Order, which is a gotcha game.
No, fake card games.
Oh yeah,
Like cards that aren't really part of a card game. that
got
they
a
sell.
story.
They sell a bunch of those.
Yeah, but that's mostly a collector's thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's not even an official thing. It's
I-
just other people.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Is that people buy not real card game cards because they have fake characters on them.
Yeah, because they're pretty. I have a couple on me.
Look, people like pretty cardboard. What do you say?
Certain people in our group have some pretty.
Oh no, I don't have any of those. I have the tasteful ones.
Yeah.
I will not loot the waifu. I can show you one. It's not anything too bad.
I always liked Rin Tosaka. That's her name, right? Did I
Yeah.
get that wrong?
No, it's a better answer than Saber.
And Rin's got a
You better
personality.
fucking take that back. I will take. Why the fuck does everyone shit on Saber?
Because
She's
she's
not a
the
person.
basic bitch answer.
She's not even a person. She has no personality.
Fuck you. That's her whole character arc.
Yeah, I know. It's that she doesn't have a personality. It's
She
boring.
develops one, you assholes.
When?
Yeah,
Rin comes in swinging.
I have this. This is probably one of the better ones.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, wait, is it nice?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
that's fine.
holographic.
Oh, I mean,
No, I looked at it and I
if
was
you
like,
really
"Wait."
like Moshiko Tensei, just play the
And then
game
there's
in.
the Fate one. There are really horny ones. I don't buy those because I respect women.
Fair.
I really don't.
No.
What? Don't
I'm
say that.
joking.
Understand
I'm
that
joking.
The internet doesn't understand sarcasm.
the views of Ryan are not the views of this podcast. Just to go forward.
No, I'm joking. But no, I think the fact that fan products can be made and no one gets really angry about it. Because I remember Bible fan fiction back then could get you killed.
That was a long time ago.
I don't even want to talk about that.
But I'm talking about come on.
Also,
Fandom-
Dante's Inferno is just Bible fanfiction.
It is.
Oh yeah, no, it's just an isekai.
Yeah.
It's a self-insert isekai.
Yes, it is. But then there's
All the cool Romans like me, but all the Greeks suffer.
yeah.
All the guys who I didn't like are all in hell for some reason. That's weird.
Also, I'm Christian, so Judas is at the worst level.
Yeah. Oh, though, if you want to just really play Moshiko Tensei as a card game, you can just play Weiss.
Yeah, they just have the
Weiss.
cards in that. White Schwartz.
Yeah, like a Moshiko Tensei set, and they'll probably
People-
make one for season 2.
I'm gonna be honest, people play it, but they just collect the cards.
Oh yeah, it's mainly a collector's market. Even a
Give me a peek. I'm not gonna remember this.
okay. Do you want to see the Roxy card?
Sure. What is the actual idea? Is it's just a card game? What sort of card game is it?
It is definitely an actual game. You can play a full game with this. There are supported tournaments by Bushiroad.
Uh-huh.
But the thing
The
about
collector's market is very large.
oh yes,
Yeah, they even have sign cards
Oh.
signed by the voice actor.
oh wow, I didn't even know this card was this expensive.
That's
Okay, I'm gonna show you a card,
Yep, that's nice.
and then I'm gonna show you the price.
Uh-huh.
And I want you to guess the price before I show you to you.
Mhm.
So first, here's the card.
Yeah, that's the one he showed me.
Okay, and now I want you to
Oh,
guess the
that really
price.
horny one.
Yeah, not a fan.
Go ahead and guess the price, though.
Yeah, that's why I
$100.
showed you this one.
Not even close.
better.
You're not even close.
200?
No,
1,000.
getting there.
More than 1,000?
Yes.
Holy crap! 2,000.
The English
Too far.
one?
Yeah.
Too far. 1,500?
Yeah, about.
Sheesh!
Sheesh!
$1,600.
That's
The-
the English one, right?
Woo!
That is the English copy. Yes.
People are too horny.
Collectors.
The game is
Horny
the
collectors
game gets
specifically.
very much so. Yes. But you do get so the main thing about Weiss though I'm not the biggest fan is a lot of the times the artwork is just scenes from the anime.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway, thank you for talking to me. My good fellows. My
I
fellow lads.
watch this podcast. I'm not watching the episodes I'm in.
Never seen an episode, but glad to be a guest.
I am an avid watcher.
We got fresh
Perspective.
Fresh perspective, yeah.
We talked about a card game that isn't Yu-Gi-Oh! For once.
What? Well, I've already done that before.
It's joke.
Yeah,
joke.
Yeah.
It's joke.
Anyway, thanks for coming. Thanks for listening, and goodbye.